let's see. We're going to go to the phone lines because we have a guest in queue. She's been on the show before. She is Dr. Monique Rolle from Alexandria Podiatry Associates. We all know about the tragic injury that happened to Kobe Bryant on Friday. The Los Angeles Lakers basically saw their season flash right before their eyes, but the team was able to, stick it out and win the games that they needed to get into the playoff run. But we're going to bring Dr. Monique on just to answer a few questions that we all had about Achilles injuries and what Kobe Bryant's future in the NBA may be. So without further ado, we'd like to welcome back into the war room for the second time Dr. Monique Rolle. Are you there?
Hello, can you hear me?
Hello, Dr. Monique Rolle. We've been trying to get on the line for like 3 minutes.
Oh, my God.
I don't know. We're having some crazy technical difficulties, but we are trying to.
Yeah, what's happened is we are so hot as a show that there's a conspiracy against us.
They don't want the
and
truth
the
to get
cyber
out.
terrorists have struck.
Yeah, so we're going to try to push through it. We'll see what happens. If not, we're either going to have you back for the next show, or you can be on one of our webcasts and we can get that equipment up and running. Yeah, we were talking about Kobe Bryant's injury, and, we wanted to get your professional opinion on the whole thing.
Right.
So we just wanted to start off with some basic questions that people have been asking on our social media page all week. It's not only questions. Everybody's been debating as if they are doctors. So, I did let everyone know that we're going to have a real doctor on, and we'll get the opinion from her. So the first thing, well, B. Austin, you had a question you wanted to ask first? You can go ahead first. Okay, I can't even hear him. Are you still there, Doc?
Well, first, I'll say, can you hear me? Yeah, I'll say a couple of things. I mean, first of all, this is a very serious injury, to anyone, whether you're an athlete or just an everyday, person that's a non-professional athlete. So
right.
This is a pretty serious injury. This is something that's obviously going to keep him out for 6 months or longer for the rest of the season. It's a long rehab. It's a major surgery. Athlete of his caliber, obviously, surgical repair is what he had done. It's the treatment of choice for an athlete of that caliber. So, the reason why it happens are several reasons. Usually, sometimes there's already a pre-existing pathology of the tendon, meaning there's already some micro tears of the tendon that already existed, so you get a thickening of the tendon that's not really functioning as well. Either he just had a traumatic injury at that moment, because basketball obviously involves a lot of jumping and planting your foot down. So, that tendon is the strongest flexor in the foot. So that can happen from either a direct blow or jumping, having a foot that's flexed at the time of the injury or flexed in the opposite direction. So there's a lot of reasons why it can happen. Certain medications, not stretching properly, usually happens to people who are untrained, that are what we call weekend warriors, where they just kind of jump out there and start doing activities that their bodies are not used to doing, which obviously is not the case with Kobe's case. But obviously overuse. I mean, he's played a lot of games. He's the highest scorer in the NBA. So, I mean, he's clearly not probably resting as much as he's supposed to. So all of those are reasons why that can happen.
Well, yeah, that's actually what I wanted to ask you, because there has been a lot of speculation that the Lakers may have run their star into the ground. Like you said, he's been playing full games recently, and at almost 35 years of age and 17 years in the league, he was averaging 45.7 minutes per game in the month of April alone. It's only 48 minutes in a game. Now, I've heard from another doctor, really, because I had a family member who did this last year. Now, this doctor said that wear and tear, from a lifetime of athletics can cause these type of injuries, and essentially if they're going to happen, they're going to happen. What do you say about that? Like, can this be blamed, specifically on his workload of late, or can this just be years of playing basketball just come back to get him? At 35?
I mean, I would say it's a combination of a lot of things. I mean, the primary age group that you see Achilles ruptures in his age group, 35 to, late 50s, early 60s. That's one component. The other component is, yes, he's definitely overworked and highly paid, but overworked. So that's going to happen. He's not resting. But usually, like I said, there's usually a chronic degeneration of an Achilles tendon over time that it can lead to rupture. But the things that he's doing as far as playing a lot of time, minutes, and not really resting a lot, I'm sure that has a part to play. So, the tendon is made up of two muscles, your gastroc and your soleus, and they come down and insert in the back of your heel, your calcaneus. So it's a very strong muscle tendon type of complex. But over time, if it's not being stretched and strengthened over time, it definitely can lead to rupture. There's also another component that I want to bring up that, I'm not saying this is what's happening, but there's also speculation with a lot of athletes of anabolic steroids because that can change the structure of the tendon. It adds to a lot of increased collagen, which is a protein, but it can also weaken the tendon and cause other pathology. So that is possible. I don't think that's the case because of what's going on, but possible.
It's funny that you mentioned that because, I'm a Kobe fan for the most part. I'm not a Lakers fan, so I can really care less about the success of that team. But jokingly, all season, I've been kind of, in jest saying that, Kobe may be on something because in year 17 and 34 years old, all of a sudden he,
looks.
He's dunking on five guys again. He's kind of looking like the 21-year-old Kobe. And it kind of came out of nowhere. He wasn't doing that, for the past 4 years or so. He was settling on a lot of jump shots, but now he's going to the rim and dunking on a lot of people. So I've said that in jest all season. It's interesting that you bring that up. So I wonder.
There's a lot of pressure. So, there's a lot of pressure on these athletes to perform at this level. This is their career, their reputation. They're carrying teams that have a long legacy like the Lakers do. So it's possible. I don't want to be put on record that I said that this is what happened, but it's definitely a possibility. I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case. So.
All right, well, there was one more issue that a lot of the fans were asking about, and it's the fact that Kobe does wear low-top shoes. Now, is there any correlation, you think, between his footwear and this particular injury?
It's definitely possible. A lot of basketball shoes tend to be, obviously high top, come up to around the ankle level. So, yes, improper support with lack of orthotics or inserts in the shoes or, that's definitely a role to play. But I think it's more so the repetitive nature of basketball, the jumping, the running, the changing direction, all of the repetitive motions of what you do in basketball. But sure, it's a possibility. A lot of high tops tend to be flat. Shoes, like really a flat type of shoe. It's not really supportive like a running sneaker. So that's definitely possible that contributed to it.
So thanks again for joining us, and we will be in touch, Dr. Rolle.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Kuwait is the war room with 5 nights at the round table. 5 Philly guys diversified and educated.